What's up? This your boy CJ Goodfella back with another Motor City Lions Talk video. And today the Lions defended the Den, as I predicted. Wasn't as high scoring as we all thought it would be. Shout out to the Detroit Lions defense first and foremost, and they pretty much held it down. We get into that a little bit later. The offense did just enough to win. And we just threw Green Bay off that game. We was more physical than Green Bay was. We controlled the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball for the most part. Not so much on the offensive part, but we get into that too. First off, some of the biggest strength I seen in the game on the Packers side of the ball was the pass rush. They had a pretty good pass rush going off our right tackle because he was just a practice squad player, 6'9", and they was getting a lot of pressure from off of that edge, and they was doing a lot of delayed blitzes and loop around blitzes and stuff like that, and they was getting to Matthew Stafford, making it uncomfortable in the pocket. And for the most part, Stafford, once he settled down, looks more slimmer. He looks more elusive in the pocket, and he was breaking down, giving what the defense was giving him, and not rushing it like in past years. And he really stepped up and showed that he could win a gutsy game versus a quarterback in Aaron Rodgers that he had seldomly beat. But another strength I seen from the Green Bay defense, what this all together was just their front line was pretty strong. They were stopping the run for the most part until we wore them down later into the quarters, which is what you really schematically want to do is just keep running the ball to wear the defense down. You get some big runs towards the end, and that's exactly what happened. And some of the weaknesses I saw from Green Bay today was Detroit Lions really threw off the timing with a great pass rush. I mean, it just wasn't the first string and Dominic Sue, Nick Fairley, Jason Jones, and Ziggy Ansah. It was the second crew: C.J. Mosley, George Johnson, um, and Devin Taylor, and the rest of those guys that was coming in. Just threw off the rhythm of Aaron Rodgers. He was getting pressure nonstop. They couldn't really block it up front. Their blocking wasn't really helping them much up front as much. And that's really what threw off the rhythm between him and his receivers. Only thing Green Bay could do, they did good on offense, going into the strengths of the offense, was they really quick passed the ball well, and they got that off. They was just quick passing. And in the long run, when they really needed a third and long or third and mid, he didn't have a time to drop back unless he got outside the pocket and scramble, which the Lions did an excellent job containing them for the most part in the pocket and making them make throws from the pocket. On the strength side of the Detroit Lions, what I seen, I like the one of the most underrated things. It wasn't the most important. It was really underrated. Was they stuck with the run today? They didn't get away from the run game. They pounded it, and it eventually paid dividends towards the end of the game. And Reggie Bush's last late touchdown, and and then that was a good thing. And then another good thing that I seen from Detroit Lions, where the defense was the most important thing. The DBs played well. Uh, the backup safety, I forget his name. He played well. Glover Clinton played well, and Danny Grower, the guy they signed in the practice squad, Mr. Muhammad, he played well. Darius Slay played excellent today, and the Lions really whooped them with their front seven. The Lions front seven is one of the best in football. It's time for them to get the recognition. They haven't really get recognition because their back end hasn't been so well. It hasn't stood up, and with some injuries, you thought that would be the case today, but the back end stood up for the most part. Played the scheme right, and they defended it and kept Randall Cobb quiet, kept Boykins quiet, and kept Jordy Nelson quiet for the most part. And the weaknesses we've seen was another weakness that we've seen is the kicking game, and which is really has to we have to find a kicker that can make some field goals from short distance, long distance, wherever we need to make them from, because it's really hurting our team, and it's kind of taking us a step back. Something else that I didn't really like was the ability not to punch it in the red zone. Once you got down there, we kept turning the ball over, or we was just settling for field goals. It's time for them to figure that out and get back to the drawing board on that. But overall, it was an outstanding game for the Detroit Lions defense. Matthew Stafford saw us the guts and hung in there versus a tough pass rush. And we on to the next. We'll look out for the next prediction video coming out next Monday. So thank you for supporting Motor City Lions Talk. The Lions win 7-19 over the Green Bay Packers. We gone.